All right, homesteader family. So today's been another long day of driving. We went up to Colorado Springs to run some errands, get some things figured out, and just day of errands and running around doing stuff. We just went down to Quincy Steakhouse. We had steak for dinner, and now I just pulled over here in the park before we head back up to the house. So that way I'm in a shaded area with good sunlight and I don't have to worry about being all whitewashed or blurred out by the sun. So some stuff coming up this upcoming week. Thursday, I had the first appointment to take my grandfather to the doctor's. So we're going to get that accomplished, try to figure out who for pain management and things like that. I'm not sure if he's still wanting to get his legs done or not. But if so, then we can try to find a doctor, surgeon to go ahead with the procedure. If he's healthy and strong enough for that. If not, then we don't, and we go from there. So on the ranch, I've got almost 100 foot of the new no-climb horse fence, the 6-foot fence put up. It is taking a heck of a lot of time to work on that fence. It's just so tall, so heavy, so bulky. Trying to put 7-foot T-posts in the ground. I'm using a ladder trying to do that, so that's a little bit pain in the butt. Luckily, I have some wonderful neighbors over at the ranch. I was out there, I think it was yesterday, putting in the 7-foot T-post, working on the fence. It was about 90 degrees, really hot. Did have cloud cover, so that was kind of nice. Off and on, a little bit of a mountain breeze. My neighbor saw me working. He went home, he grabbed a watermelon, he chopped up a watermelon, and he brought some slices of watermelon down to me and my grandfather so we could have a nice, relaxing, refreshing break. It was nice and cold. He put it in the fridge, so on the temperature being so hot, it felt so good to have nice cold watermelon to sit down, take a break, get out the sun for a moment. Showed him the pumpkin plants coming up. So for those of you that don't know, that don't watch Facebook, Instagram, or any of the other social medias, the pumpkin seeds that I planted, where I took the pickaxe and just poked holes all over the ground, I haven't watered any of the seeds. We have not had any rain. Colorado Springs, Monument, everybody's got all these hailstorms. We still have not got any moisture since about April. And April was only about a 30-minute storm. Hey, Carol. Nice to see you guys. Anyhow, I didn't water, no precipitation, and I've got pumpkin plants popping up all over the place. So the next question is, are the pumpkin plants gonna produce? So not sure how the weather's going, but if the roots get deep enough in the ground, because I did it in the creek bed, there should be a little bit. Hey, J. Joe. There should be enough moisture down deeper for the pumpkin seeds to get a hold of some moisture and hopefully grow. But at that elevation, I'm not sure. At 8,500 feet, me and my neighbor grew pumpkin, or not pumpkins, but squashes, butternut squashes, and things like that, different gourds. So that's at 8,500 feet. The pumpkin seeds that I planted is at about 92, 9,300. So the question is winter going to hit prior to me getting pumpkins, or am I going to get pumpkins? Because at my house at 85, we normally get snow between the 2nd and 3rd week of October. Sometimes as late as the last week of October. Over at the ranch, they probably will get hit with snow around the first to 2nd week of October, maybe 3rd week at the latest. So that's going to be a whole new adventure and idea to see what happens over there. This past winter, we didn't have a bad winter. But since we haven't had a bad winter in about 3 years, I'm thinking this winter will probably be a bad one, but not 100% sure. So the fruit trees are all doing good. The 3 trees that I didn't think were coming back, one is fully fledged out with leaves. The second one has buds with, I think, 3 or 4 leaves on it. And the third tree it's shaky on whether that one's going to come through or not. If it doesn't, then of course I'll take it back next year, get another fruit tree, and start buying more fruit trees next year. Some big things that are in the works. For those of you that don't know, the ranch is not paid off for. I owe roughly $158,000 left on the ranch. I've been in a rent-to-own contract on the ranch, and the owner, Jeff, has been amazing. I mean, he's worked with me with my little bit of income, and he's taken $250 a month payments, which it's a rent-to-own, so $150 of that goes to rent money for using the land, and $100 has been going towards the property. Well, I just got done talking with him on the phone, and because it's been a year now, I haven't missed a payment. I haven't been late on a payment. He always gets the money up front on time. He's willing to work out a mortgage with me now and do a owner finance mortgage. So he's going to be drawing up some paperwork tonight and figure out, you know, what he can do. So more money will go towards the principal and not as much money into rent. He'll still get interest money until it's paid off, which will take years to get the ranch paid off, unless I can get my house sold or something goes through financially on that front. But besides that, it looks like it's probably going to take me 5 or 6 years unless I get a windfall of money to go ahead and get the ranch paid for. But he's going to work that, and then I'm also in the I'm going to start looking on Craigslist, seeing if I can find a decent camper trailer to at least get over there for my grandfather while we're over at the ranch, so he's not in between the truck and a chair. By having a cheap camper trailer over there, that will give him a couch, table, and other things, and then try to save up money and eventually get electric put on, get a phone line, internet, get the dish switched over there, rent equipment to dig out the house site, so on and so forth. So that's all different things I'm working on, things that I'm just going to have to save money. It's going to be a slow grind until, like I said, my house sells or something happens where I have money to put into the property. As for the animals, people have been asking if I'm going to be breeding the pigs again. Girl pig's in there, so as soon as she's done being dried up, of course, for some of the videos you can see some of her breasts are still filled with milk because the babies are still in there with her. So as long as the babies are breastfeeding, she's still continuing to produce milk. Once she completely dries up, I'm not sure the time frame, but I'm sure it's a couple months before she'll go back into heat. Once she goes into heat, Papa Pig's in there and Porky's in there. So either one has the potential to breed her, and then I'll have baby piglets again. This past week, I took Mr. Pig to the butcher. And for those of you, it's going good, High Desert Living. How's it going for you? I took Mr. Pig to the butcher. And for those of you that have never loaded a pig, unfortunately, my camera shut off when a phone number came in. Well, that's good. It's better than being bad. But my phone shut off when somebody called my phone while I was filming. Somehow my phone got reception up at the ranch for that brief second. It shut off the video. But you can see coming up, I got a couple of videos. The first one, I got Mr. Pig out of the fence. No problem. Then he went back in, and then the goats pushed me over. The pigs pushed me over, and I had Porky, the 600-pound pig. I had all the other pigs, girl pig, runt pig, Mr. Pig, all the piglets and all the goats and all the dogs all running rampant. They all got out of the pen, and the pigs have never been out the pen, so it was chasing around, trying to get them to go. Luckily, I had my grandfather over here. He helped get the, he helped stand at the end of one of the cattle panels, and what I did was I drove 6 T-posts in a line and made a little U shape with the cattle panels. He stood at the end so he could scare the pig this way. The pig went in the U, and then got him around to the trailer, had to put stuff up on both sides, and it was a pain in the butt. Big pain in the butt. So my goal is, when I do the new pens, once I tear the rest of the cattle panels down, going up the hill to the creek, and then the cattle panels where the animals are at, I'm going to be doing 3 separate pens. I'm going to do one for the males. The center one's going to be for the female pigs that have babies, and then the far one's going to be the females. So that way I can keep the pigs separated and breed them when I want to. And then I'm going to run a chute, basically a little hallway with the cattle panels inside each one. Sounds like you need someone local to be your cameraman helping hand. Always. There's so much that goes on, and trying to make videos and stuff is so much. Well, hey Joe, you're gonna see some of the circus. I'm not sure, because I had cinder blocks piled up. If you caught me, I fell over. Olaf, your wonderful goat, got his horn stuck in my back, so my back hurt for about 2 days. So I'm not sure if you see that fiasco, but you'll see all the animals running out, and then you'll see in the second video me trying to run a runt pig back in. Took me forever, and it was a headache. But my goal is, I'm going to run a chute in each of the pens, and that way I can get one pig into the chute, close it off on the back side, open the front side where the trailer is, run the pig up, and be done with it. My goal before winter is getting the horse fence up around to the creek bed, and then I'll run temporary fence with the cattle panels from the creek bed around the back side of the pond to the pen. So hopefully I can get the goats over into their own area by winter, so they have all the grass and weeds that they're not growing much. You know, they're only a few inches tall, but it's a lot more greenery than what's in the pen currently, and that will give some of the animal droppings and stuff time to process throughout the winter and break down and turn into compost and go from there. Next spring, I plan on hauling probably a good 4 or 5 semi-loads of that recycled mulch that I started using on the orchard. It's $5 a yard, and I can get 5 yards in my trailer, so 25 bucks. And I want to cover the entire pig pen in mulch. So as the pig droppings get on top of the mulch, it will adhere to the mulch. The mulch will absorb the moisture. And as the winter snows come, the spring rains come and go, and the sunlight, it breaks down and turns into a really, really rich compost. Do you have an irrigation ditch and water rights? Okay, now for High Desert Living wants to know if I have a ditch or water rights. Now, how the ranch was set up, there's Miller Creek. You can look online. Oh, wait, what is the recycled mulch made out of? Harshman Hills. The recycled mulch is just trees, bushes, sticks, logs. It goes through a semi-type wood chipper. It doesn't chip it into equal lengths or equal sizes. Some you have 12 to 18 inch sticks, and the rest, you know, could be tiny. It's recycled because it's not refined to a certain size. So it's not real nice looking in garden beds and stuff like that, but it's great for the homestead. And if you check out your different garden stores, this is where I found it, at the garden store, and they have semi-loads of it just sitting there, $5 a yard. So it breaks down. And if you look into the Hooger culture beds, you don't just want all logs, you don't want just sawdust, you don't want just mulch. And with the recycled mulch, you have all different sizes, so you have different parts of it breaking down at different times, so you're not overloading your beds or ground with nitrogen from the nutrients going down in the soil, and it gives time going through. Back to High Desert Living's question about the water situation. So if you look, is Miller Creek? Yeah, there's no... it's all natural wood, no pallets, no 2x4s, nothing that has any type of chemicals in it. It's all natural from the city cleaning out the trees and stuff like that, down power lines. But back to the water, if you look at out in Cotopaxi, Colorado, there's Miller Creek, and Miller Creek runs on the corner part of the property. It's in, I want to say, maybe 600 feet at the top side and maybe 300 feet at the bottom side that runs through. Because we're in a severe drought right now, the creek is completely dried up, but the water does run underneath, and that's what's causing my natural springs that are popped up throughout the animal pen and above the pond. With the water underground, there's so much water pressure that it pushes it up through these natural springs. I have 7 natural springs on the ranch, so I'm able to use that water. One thing I was told by the Colorado State Water Board is I need to go and get them adjudicated. They cost like $250 or $300 adjudication for each one. So that's one thing. I've got to save up money because I just don't have the money right now to do it. The one thing the guy Jeff that owns the ranch did was he paid between $30,000 or $40,000. It was, he had a pond permitted and everything like that set up. So I had that huge 250 foot long pond by like 35 foot wide by 18 foot deep at the deepest spot. And the Colorado State Water Board said that with that being all permitted, I had the right to that water and I can use the water out of the pond. As for the creek, I cannot touch the creek. My animals, however, I can fence part of the creek in if I want. The animals can drink from the creek. I just cannot put a pump into the creek or pull any type of water out of the creek. So I also had the right in Cotopaxi, it's if you own 35.01 acres or greater, you had the right for a domestic well, which with the domestic well, you can use all the water you need for inside a house. You can water flower beds around the house, and you can water up to 1 acre of crops. So my goal is I want to do a Hooger culture style farm, and with the Hooger culture you don't need as much water, and I'm going to build a 3-acre farm. So to be able to water an acre worth of farmland, with you get so many gallons, because here in Colorado, I'm not sure how it is everywhere else, but they put a meter on domestic wells, and you are only allowed to use so many gallons per day, per week, per month, per year. And if you go over those rates, you're looking at federal fines, possible jail, and everything else. So once I get all that situated, that 1 acre of water usage that I'm able to use on the farm, having the Hooger culture style farm, it's going to require 1/10 of what a regular farm's going to require, because it's not flat land farming like Americans do. So that 1 acre of water will be able to water 3 acres, no problem. Plus I'll be able to use more. And then with my animals, the only animals I'm watering right now are my dogs. And I just take 5-gallon buckets, put it in a big stainless steel or galvanized water trough, and that's how they get their water. And I just go down to the pond, pull it out. The pond is down about 3.5 feet. So hopefully this winter or later this summer we get some rain, get some moisture to get the pond filled back up. But you'll see plenty of those videos coming up of how low the water is, how dry it is. You'll see the pumpkin seeds coming up that I did, and fencing and that type of stuff. So I'm going to get out of here because you can see my grandfather's moving around, so he's probably getting a little bit sore. So we're going to head up back to the house. I hope everything's going good for everybody else, and like I say, everything's going good here. All the animals are doing good, minus Max. J-Joe commented he was limping. He got ringworm back east. Cracked 2 of his paws real bad, so I'm using Vaseline and Neosporin to get his paws healed back up every other day while I'm over there. and we're gonna go from there. So hope everybody has a good day. I'll talk to you guys later.